the bird, man.
What if Danny Garcia wins this upcoming Saturday? What if he beats Errol Spence Jr.? How would that change the landscape of the welterweight division? Actually, how would that change the landscape of boxing? I think that would be a big, big win for Danny Garcia, for one. But for two, that'll change everything that we've been talking about for the past 2.5, almost 3 years, which is the Spence Crawford. That fight will likely be the shine. Some of the fire it had will be diminished. It'll be dwindled. It'll be smothered if Danny Garcia pulls off the upset this Saturday. Now, a lot of Philly boys feel that Danny's going to win this fight. They're not really coming out talking about it like that, but if you pay attention, a lot of the Philly boys got Danny Garcia beating Spence. They said Danny Garcia is looking really good in camp. He was looking really good in camp, really good in sparring. He looking really good, actually. He looking strong, he looking healthy, he looking ready to go. Errol Spence Jr., of course, he's the favorite for a reason. But considering what he's coming off the accident, the layoff, things of that nature, he's walking right into a big, tough fight. And there's a high probability that he could lose this fight. A lot of his fans, and even guys like myself, we kind of tend to overlook the whole situation. We kind of overlook at Danny Garcia. Now, it's disrespectful. But Danny's not tripping. He knows what it is, right? He knows that everybody's still going to be looking past him. He's been dealing with this his whole career. He's been dealing with this his whole life. So this is nothing new to him. He's just going to stay in the gym and keep working. Well, the work should already be done now. But that's what he was on. His dad was doing a little bit of talking. But Danny Garcia has a real big chance to play spoiler. And one of my previous videos, probably about a week ago, and I said we've seen this story before, with the whole Wilder Joshua and all that, and Andy Ruiz playing spoiler. And I stated in that video that Danny Garcia could be playing the role of Andy Ruiz this Saturday. We don't know. We kind of overlooking Danny Garcia, and he does have a real chance to win this fight against Errol Spence. I think stylistically, that's a better matchup for Danny than Keith Thurman or Sean Porter ever was. Let's just be honest. Guys that have a lot of speed, a lot of explosiveness, a lot of athleticism give Danny Garcia trouble. Errol Spence, he's not necessarily any of those. He's not really a twitchy fighter. He's not really explosive. He's not really super fast. He's faster than Danny, but he's not significantly fast like Sean Porter or Keith Thurman is. And he was still like a step behind those guys, despite having a massive speed disadvantage. So a guy like Errol Spence is more tailor-made kind of for his style, except for the fact that Errol Spence is a southpaw, which is the best thing I feel that he has going for him, is that he's a big southpaw. Danny has some experience fighting southpaws. He didn't look too good against Red Cash. Danny Garcia seems to be a guy like Sean Porter who kind of fights to the level of his opponents, but when the big fight is in the front of him, he rises to the occasion. He may end up coming up a little short, but he's right there with that guy. It's never a shutout performance. It's never him getting completely shut out. Not since he's been at welterweight anyway, right? So I think Danny Garcia has a good chance. I think us as fans, we kind of overlooking Danny a little too much in this fight by continuing to talk about the Crawford fight. I know that's the fight that we all want. That's the fight we've all been talking about for the past 2.5 years. Actually, we should be talking about a Spence Crawford rematch, but it is what it is, right? But Danny Garcia has a real chance to win this fight. Stylistically, he's a counterpuncher. He does a lot of good. He's not the flashiest guy, so it doesn't look like he's doing much, but he's a lot better than people give him credit for when you really watch Danny Garcia. He does a lot of good things, a lot of small things very well. A lot of good intangibles, really good strong chin, heavy right hand. He's not the fastest guy, but you can't get caught sleeping with Danny. And Errol Spence Jr. makes a lot of mistakes that I think a guy like Danny will capitalize on. A technician, a guy that's a counterpuncher like Danny will capitalize on. Some that some of his other opponents wasn't really able to do. Sean Porter got the speed, and athleticism, but he's not necessarily a good puncher. He smothers his work a lot. He he's not the most accurate puncher and all this other shit. But Danny Garcia, he's a better puncher than Shawn Porter and a heavier puncher. And Errol Spence Jr. just started sparring in September, if we're not mistaken, right? So this fight might be a lot more dangerous than we think. And then we got to see how Errol looks on them scales. He's been looking real good for the past 3 weeks now. I still question, do he got anything left to lose on the scales? Well, we go see this coming Friday, right? It's going to be a really interesting fight. This is a really big fight. I think the Errol Spence fans going to be really, really nervous because they boy it's natural. They boy went through a lot. A lot of his fans going to be in attendance to show him some support. So it's going to be a very interesting fight. Who I got winning? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence right now. First I was with Errol, then I was with Danny, then I was with Errol, now I'm on the fence. Who I want to win? I want Spence to win so we can continue this story. But who I think will win, that's a whole different thing entirely. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.